Yes, you did. Alright, everybody. So, tonight's subject for the Power Under 3's gamercast is going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to enjoy it. That's not the title, by the way. But the title is, as you can tell, the title is How to Grow on Twitch. Essentially, it's How to Grow on Twitch. Actually, you know what? I might as well fix that title. Update. There we go. Sorry, don't mind. Apologies. But growth on Twitch. Shit. Sorry. Quiet the music down here in a minute. Alrighty, so. Well. The reality is, growth on Twitch is a lot of work. And I'm a smaller guy. I'm on the smaller end of the scale. And I'm really experiencing a lot of that. A lot of work, a lot of hard work, especially nowadays, because nowadays is the perfect time for me to just start grinding. And this is just how I view it. But growing on a streaming platform, say Twitch, Mixer, Facebook, Insta, every live streaming platform, doesn't matter how you look at it, YouTube. To grow, you got to get your name out there. And yeah, everybody already knows by now. Streaming schedule, start timing, just start streaming. Everybody knows that. That's kind of part of Twitch. And unfortunately, that's basically it. Well, no, I can't say that. That's basically the start of it. Reality is, a lot of streamers will say it's based on luck. In my opinion, luck plays a role. It plays a role. It's not 100% success on Twitch, but it is definitely a factor in growth. Sorry, I had to put it on. I had to quiet down the music. But growth on Twitch, as an example, you can't grow, not easily. Yes, there is a new thing out that's Twitch trailers, where you can make a trailer. I still got to do that myself, but yeah, you make a trailer, and it's basically an introductory to your channel, what your channel is about. And I still have to get to that, but that's a great way to start. That's a great way to get your channel up. But not everybody can make that. So, in my personal opinion, you got to start somewhere. Yes, 100%. Start with the classic case of getting your name out there before, during, and after your stream. So that means communicating, going on Discord chats, Twitter, Instagram. And no, I'm not saying promote on someone's do not promote on someone else's chat. That is a dick move. Dick move. And I know I had to repeat it. I had to say it. But growth on Twitch involves, the biggest portion is building a brand, getting your name out there, and communicating. In order to do that, you have to be active on social media platforms. You have to find ways to get your name out there. The best way to do it, as many people will say, is through social media. So, but before you guys go saying, okay, I'm just going to promote on by putting my link and saying I'm live. That works to a degree. Only in the degree of, hey, I'm live. Come over, check me out. It's attractive if you got a way to attract people to you, but they don't know you. If you start communicating on different channels, different platforms, or even go into someone else's chat and and saying, "How you doing?" That's just sparking a conversation, not telling them that you are a dot 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 dot. Because the second you tell that person that you are a content creator, they're like, "Oh, not another one." And you basically shot yourself in the foot, essentially. Now, if it just happens to be that the person asks, all right, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with answering a question. But you cannot ask, you cannot actually say, "Hey, I'm a streamer too. Can you check my stuff out?" Or, "Hey, I'm a streamer too." Or the worst one is stream sniping. If you're playing a game like Call of Duty and you're streaming, and then all of a sudden you find out someone else is streaming too, and it's like, "There he is." And you start saying, "Oh, I'm live too. Come over, come over, come over, come over, come over." That's a dick move. You get a big old mute, ban, whatever on someone else's chat. It's a no. Don't do it. Big no-nos. But but the proper way to grow is, and I'm trying my best to do this, and it doesn't seem to be panning out as well, but I really should. And that is going into someone's chat, someone's Discord, their chat when they're live, their YouTube channels, and just saying, "Hey, this is what I think about it. This is really cool," or just going along with the flow and commenting. Because the best way for interactivity with a content creator is to say they're doing really good, and then or positive critique. Positive critique will go a long way. Just say, "Hey man, I like your stuff. I think you could do better. And this is where the area I see it. This is what I think would be better." Cool. As long as you have developed a relationship with the person. And I'm not saying boyfriend, girlfriend, I'm just saying a mutual speaking relationship that says, "Hey, I'm cool. Hey, you're cool. Yeah, let's chat." Kind of says, "Hey, let's play some video games together." It kind of says, "Hey, think you can help me out in this game? I'm having a tough time." "All right, I'll hop right on it." Then you could slowly critique someone. It's not you don't develop a bond like that. It's impossible. You cannot just, "Hey, how you doing?" You gotta get out there. You gotta do so. Okay, whatever. Sorry, it was my PlayStation thing saying, "Hey, your gameplay's blocked." But you gotta remember that they're a person. If you want their true on attention, you have to actually talk to them. You have to communicate with them. You have to say, "How's it going?" Get to know the person. Eventually, it could potentially lead down the road of, "Hey, you want to hop on my fire team?" Sounds really good to me. I've done it a couple of times on someone else's channel. Just chat. Just talk. No mentionings of what I do. And I've been able to go on a couple of squads with a couple of streamers themselves. One, I actually turned off my stream while I was raiding because I didn't want to ask, and it's like, I'm just going to respect this guy. It was in my opinion, it was smart. It was also dumb at the same time, because I could have been streaming and I could have asked the guy, "Hey man, are you okay with me streaming alongside you?" I should have done that, but I didn't. It bit me in the ass, but I'm not going to complain about it because that's in the past, and I learned from that. If you're going to stream alongside with this guy, a streamer, a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter, or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you're going to stream with someone, always ask, if someone's streaming and you're going to play video games with them, always ask them if it's okay. If they say, "I'm sorry, I don't want to do this tonight," all right, you can carry on with my business, and I'll carry on with yours. You know what I mean? I'll carry on with my business, you carry on with yours, but I'll stay in your chat and just chat it up. Or just say, I'll just bail for a little while and come back later. No biggie. Simple solution to that. Because you can't just be a dick about it. You can't just say you're not you cannot just speak up and say you're not streaming, or say you're streaming after you're done. Say and that's a dick move. You gotta let them know right off the bat. But every time I've gone on for for Destiny as an example, Division 2 is another one. Unless they're on muted mic, then it's like, okay, I can't really talk much. But if you're on LFGs, looking for groups, and you just type out what you can, the information you can. If you can't type out you are a streamer, okay. When they get in, just ask them if it's okay with you broadcasting if you're okay with streaming them. If they say yes, it's like okay. If not, well, you're gonna have to figure out a way for them to. You gotta figure out how to work with it. It happens. I haven't had it happen yet, but it happens. Most people I talk to, they're like, "Oh, that's really cool. I like that idea." And it's like, yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. And there's nothing wrong with getting the permission from people to have them on. What's going on, Bleed? How you doing, buddy? Today's topic, we're talking growth on different platforms. If you didn't know by the title. To grow, it's not to promote, it's to create a bond, a relationship with with someone, and eventually it could potentially turn into saying, "Hey, man, am I okay with streaming alongside you, or saving clips that you could put on YouTube or send to someone else?" You always have to make sure that person is aware of what you're doing. It's a dick move if you just don't get their permission. Whereas talking on Discord, you could talk about it, but you have to not do it in a promotive way. In order to do that, you just say when the subject actually comes up on the platform, and I know you guys can't see my hand, but it's constantly moving. I'm not Italian, but bear with me. But the way you can bring up your channel of any variety is if you have been given permission to do so, or if you can do it in a channel on Discord, then you could do so. Which comes down to, yeah, it happens. Talking, just talk, just say, "Hey, I'm just playing some video games, just having a lot of fun." Ah, cool. You enjoying yourself? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And it involves interaction, not just, "I do this, why don't you come over?" Especially if you're in a general chat, that's not a good idea to do. And I've accidentally posted links in general chat by mistake. I will automatically say it's automatic. It's my mistake. If I look through a Discord chat and I see that I did post it, it's like, oh crap, I'll take that back. Sorry, I apologize. And then I will depending on when it is, I will post it in the proper channel. It's no biggie. As long as you own up to it, you're fine. You don't say, "Oh, I didn't do it." Because there was one time I did that, and I was like, "Hold on, let me go take a look further up." And then I found the link, and it's like, "Oh, I did. I will delete that right away." When you're on Discord or Twitter or Facebook, unless someone actually asks for a link, don't post a link. Just chat it up. Just say, hey, how you doing? Spark the conversation, join the conversation, and bonds will be formed as time goes on. Because, and It's not that you're trying to get noticed, it's you're trying to create a bond, a relationship. You're not there to get clout. Because clout is only short-term gains and bites you in the ass. Every time. If you want true growth, you have to put in the work. And in order to put in the work, you have to actually chat. You have to discuss. You have to join the conversations. And eventually, within a short period of time, you actually could potentially join a couple of chat channels. Hop on and be like, how you doing? I love this video game. How you doing? Oh, pretty good. And then you could potentially join in the discussion if they're not looking for spoilers or if they don't want people to tell them how to play the game. Because there's a lot of people that will. And that is it. Spoilers is a no-no unless they're okay with it. Telling people how to play the game, aka backseat gaming, is the same way. Unless someone actually asks, don't do it. Because nobody likes it. Nobody likes backseat gamers. That's a true fact. I do not like backseat gaming. I know I've done it my fair share, but I've only ever done it in person. I've never, unless I know I'm allowed to do it in a chat, I will never do it. Because it's a smart thing to not do. Because nobody likes backseat gamers. Another way to grow, and it is the best way to grow, getting your content out there. And that involves making the content, regardless how you view it, or what you do for content. One example is streaming. Currently I'm streaming my podcast live, so I can't. So one thing for certain, my podcast, I cannot actually post my podcast until the 24-hour period is up. And that's okay. So whenever I make my podcasts, I'm recording it, I will fix it up and I'll save it and get it all edited up for for Spotify and for YouTube, because that's where I post the video form of this. I'll wait the 24 hours because I am classed as an affiliate. And by the time I'm actually done it all, it is usually able to be sent out by then. My podcast is automatically set up to schedule for that. I just have to edit it just enough that I can put it out and send it out. My YouTube, it's a little more complicated because it takes forever for it to process anything over 20 minutes. It happens. But getting your that's the two number one ways to get different forms of content. The rest of it, such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever platform you use, is getting a small clip, putting it out there. TikTok is a great example of taking some of your clips and getting it out there. Or taking little snippets of a recording and getting it out there. YouTube, is the best way because more people are there. Is it a pain? Yes. Is it a lot of work? Yes. But to get the content out there is how people will get noticed. And how you get noticed is being productive with your content. That includes video games, artwork, transitions for people, introductions, closing for video for their stuff, or even making a podcast. It's the term of getting it out there, letting people know that it's out there, and letting people see it. Because why would you want people to not see your content? You can't grow if nobody's watching. And there's the pause for you. To grow is getting it out there. to grow bigger is thinking about how you're going to get it out there. And to even grow even quicker is to develop bonds combined with getting the content out there that people can watch, people can be entertained by, and that people can relate with. You got to relate with the people too, with your people too. You can't just, hey, guess what? Because one thing's for certain, you will never ever get everybody. Not everybody's gonna like your content. It happens. You're gonna run into people who are not gonna like your content. Same as you're gonna run into trolls who are gonna. It's still active involvement. It's still them taking a look at your stuff, but at the same time, it is not anything that you can deal with. It's them. It's their opinion, their choice, and it happens. Don't feel bad for the trolls or the haters that do come into your chat when you're live, or that post comments when you're not, when you're posting your content out there. It'll happen. When you get bigger, you get clout. When you get clout, well, it comes with hate. Be prepared for that. But you gotta remember that clout, you gotta watch what kind of clout you get. By getting clout for being stupid, it could happen. It could not happen. Never feel bad about it. So this podcast will be shorter, just to let you know. But if you want your content to be noticed, you gotta get it out there. If you don't, how are you gonna get noticed? And that's on podcast. That's how you get luck. That's where luck comes in, is who's gonna watch you at that time. That's the driving factor. That's the only factor where luck comes in. It's not, hey, I got lucky in that moment. It is, did that person like your stuff? Did that person see your stuff? If you get lucky, you get lucky. But in order to get that little tiny aspect of luck, you have to put in a whole heap of work to get it. One example, a logo. Brand. Develop a brand. You're not just you're not just someone who's like, okay, I'm cool, and then you just grab a random picture. That's really not a brand. You could do it if it was a caricature, or if it was a rendition. But if you just take a picture of yourself, it's a little more complex to brand. It can be done, but it's harder to do. But if you can get one of these, a logo for yourself, be it made by you, I made that myself, or if you want to get or if you have the capability, don't be afraid to spend some money. Say, hey, I need a logo. What can you do for me? And that is another portion of the work. What's another way to get your content out there? Well, one good way, pay for it. Now, before you guys start complaining, before anybody says anything about, oh, what do you mean by that, or, oh, you don't need to pay for it. What I mean by that is when you reach a certain point where you can get an artist. Get a guy who can make your YouTube videos when you can't. Get a guy to make your transitions. Get a guy to make your closing, your starting, whatever. Someone who can do your editing when you are at a stage where you can do so. I'm not at that stage personally. I'm going to wait until I am at that stage, because it will take time. So basically, most of everything that I have for my channel is mine. save for couple of info logs. If you go down the scroll list and all that, there was a couple of info panels that were actually not made by me. But I asked my friend if I'm okay to use that for free. Well, no, sorry. She told me that I could use them, and I was cool with that. But at some point, if I was to ask for more, I would probably have to pay her, because that's taking her time away from her life to do so. All in all, what I'm saying is pay your fucking artists. You really want to pay your artists, because if you don't pay your artists, they're going to kick you in the ass. Unless it's a fresh starting guy who's never ever done something for that guy. But even then, don't use popularity as payment as well. Dick move if you guys do that. If the guy offers it for free, let him do so. Let him show you what he's got. If you like it, put it on. If you don't, well, be respectful about it. Just say, this is cool. It doesn't suit my channel, but this is cool. It's quite as simple as that. Don't be afraid to say, I'm okay. It's cool, but I'm cool with my theme. One example is my theme. As you can see, it's black, red, and this faded yellow. That faded yellow is, I'll put it this way, if you think about it, brighter, warm colors attract people. Per se. Doesn't always work, but if you use the example of McDonald's, big bright yellow M with some red. Very attractive, very well-known name. I'm not talking about I'm just saying the colors will always do a little bit of attracting for people. But that's just based on basic human biology. We're more attracted to warmer colors because of it being more vibrant in our view. It's easier to see. Blues are more relaxing and calming, but they're less attractive. But we're not going to go into that. We're not going to go into science, because that is a very complex subject. But getting a brand will revolve around a logo. If you're a really good artist, make it yourself. If you're not, well, practice or find someone. Don't be afraid to pay them if they're the kind of guy who is to be paid, because if they're the kind of content creator that makes stuff, logos and everything like that, and they require payment, don't be a cheapskate. Before you do any of it, ask them what they require. If it's out of your price league, say, I thank you for answering that, but I cannot afford that, and I am not going to waste your time on doing that. I just want free stuff, or can you do it for this? That's your minimum rate. It's too much for me. I'll just walk away. Thank you for don't be a fool, and don't say, oh, I don't like that price. Oh. Think business based. If you think about if you cannot afford something, just say, at this time, I can't afford it. I will let you carry on with your day. Go to someone who deal with someone who can at this time. And maybe in the future, I will potentially work with you. But for now, I just cannot afford it. Paying your artist is a big way to do it. Because even they will promote. No matter how big that person is, they will promote you. Say, well, not it's never a requirement, but they will if they do. Beautiful. But they will. The fair majority of the artists that are paid will be like, okay, this is the guy, this is dot 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 dot, this is what I made for them, and they will show it, and it's like, mint. But don't expect someone to do so. That's another one connected to that, because expectation breeds something that doesn't usually lead you down the road that you want. Another way to get your name out there, though, if you think about it, is sponsorships and stuff like that, or affiliate programs. I've been offered a couple of affiliate programs, but I'm not at that stage. I've said to myself, I'm not at that stage. I'm not prepared, not ready to jump that hoop yet. When I feel ready, I will. But at the moment, I'm not ready to do so. But those are good ways to get your name out there as well. But they take a little work themselves, because you actually have to think about their brand combined on top of what you're doing. So everything you have to do, you'd be like, okay, I need that. Don't forget that. So for sponsorships and stuff like that, I have no major experience on that just at this time. That could change in the future, but that at the same time that could not change in the future. I don't know yet. We shall see. I'm not at that. As I said, I'm not at that stage. But I will plan on it for some time in the future. But I'm not going to make it as a top priority until I do get at that stage. But other than that, that's most of your growth comes from relationships and developing relationships and getting your content out there. You can't do anything else without it. So you got to do what you got to do. But anyway, as I said, that's my shorter podcast, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So thank you all once again on Spotify or YouTube if you guys are watching the podcast there, and I will talk to you guys. See you guys next week for the podcast. Either way, I'm Power 3. You guys have yourselves a good time. Thank you very much.